Go ahead and call the regular board meeting for Tuesday, March 18th to order. And we're going to go ahead and start with the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. Mr. Stevens, could you call attendance of the board, please?
Mrs. Drum is absent this evening, so we'll start with Angie McMurray.
Here.
Mrs. Dillard.
Here.
Mr. Maines.
Here.
And Mr. Thompson. Here. We do have a quorum this evening and we can continue.
Thank you. Next on the agenda is the approval of tonight's meeting agenda. Do I have a motion to approve the agenda?
I'll move to approve.
I'll second. Is there any discussion?
I'd like to make an amendment.
Okay.
So I want a motion to amend the agenda to add a new business item, item letter E, titled Award Construction Contract. This will allow the Board of Education to vote for the approval of the recommended award construction contract received from Garmin Miller for the bus garage and maintenance facility.
Okay. That'll be under section 7, new business, letter E. Okay.
Well, let's finish if there's anything else, and then I'll make the adjustment.
Alright. Is there any other discussion or things that we amended? Alright. Hearing none. Besides the first one, which was the motion by Mr. Thompson to amend the agenda to add a new business item, letter E, for award construction contract.
We need to do a first and a second on that.
Alright, so I need a motion to accept the amended agenda.
I'll move to accept the amended agenda.
And I'll second that. Thank you. Any discussion on that? Hearing none?
Maines.
Yes.
Dillard.
Yes.
McMurray.
Yes.
Thompson.
Yes.
Okay, if you give me just a couple moments, I'll have this in here.
Okay. And is it okay if we go ahead and move to student recognition? No.
No, they
They just
they just did it. Yes, you are more than welcome. Move on to
Okay.
student recognition.
All right.
Great.
Yep.
We've got a lot of kids to recognize tonight. Students, if you can come up when I call your name, come up front here. I'll give you your certificate. You can high five the board, and then you go over to the black tip logo over there, right? The black background tip logo, get your picture taken. Parents, you're welcome to go over there as well anytime. Everybody good? Ready? All right. We'll start off with Broadway. So we have a couple of kids, Cora Miller and McCoy Holzfaster, who were selected for good role models and excellent examples for other students. So this Cora here. And then McCoy, right? Your name is? McCoy. Congratulations.
Good man.
then we have Maddie Barnhart. She comes to school with a great attitude. She also often refers to Maddie as a great role model for classroom expectation, and she is a perfect example of being respectful, being responsible, and showing integrity. So Maddie Barnhart, I have their cell. Hey, come right this way. Right here, get your picture taken.
Good job, Maddie. Good job, Maddie. Good job.
And then I have for the last of Broadway, we have Ben Berkey and Addie Cheney. Both of these students work extremely hard both in and out of the classroom, and they both help others out without being asked. So congratulations, Ben. You can cheer for them, it's okay. It's all right. Melty Ball recognizing students who that got excellent ratings. In this one, these students have gone above and beyond in their classroom project. Their dedication and hard work are truly paying off, as reflected in their impressive progress and achievement this quarter. So we have Avery Cheney. Say we're here. Yep. And Corbin. We have Vivian Randlin. And Nicole Stump. All right, at Tip Middle School, we have students who are being recognized tonight are Mr. Slyman's broadcast journalism class. They have demonstrated outstanding creativity and leadership by producing impactful videos for the DARE initiative, guided by Officer Warren. Their work promoted a drug and alcohol-free lifestyle and emphasized the importance of positive relationships and being a contributing member of the school community. These videos are shown to LT Ball students to continue and inspire a stronger community of positivity and role models. So thank you for these students. We have Colt Blair. Colt here. We have Stella Geisler. Stella. Ethan Fox. Avery Gagnon. Gagnon? No, I'm not here. Am I the only one? Kaylee Gilliland? Nope. Ashley Jurgen? Aurora Kerr? Now what do you do? Are you in front of the camera, behind the camera?
Sometimes
A little bit of both.
yeah, a little bit of
You have a favorite? No. It's all good. Thank you.
Congratulations.
Ellie Lukacs. Delilah Rosales. You have a favorite part of your broadcast? You're producing.
Nice. Congratulations.
Owen Vonderheide. Nope. Emily Raggett. Emily. Sarah Bauer. Sarah at the high school was named the state winner of the Martin Luther King Jr. Essay Contest in the sophomore category, standing out among other entries from over 2,600 students across Ohio. She was honored at a ceremony in Columbus where she had the opportunity to read her winning essay. The contest organized by the Ohio Civil Rights Commission encourages students to reflect on Dr. King's life, his impact on the civil rights movement, and how his message continues to shape our world today. Is Sarah here today? Well, if not, congratulations to her. And then we got a bunch of these awards. So these are our kind of STEM recognition, our science. You had a chance to see some of our kids at their science fair, science projects. They did a great job. We had 27 students from Tip City presenting their independent research project at the Miami County Science Day. 84% of the participants earned a superior rating, qualifying for the next level of competition, which happened 2 weeks ago, I think, a couple weeks ago at Edison State Community College. So our students also earned an estimated half of all special recognition and awards, which included some cash dollars as well. So congratulations to these students. Again, I'll read off your names. Come on up, please. Bailey Aston. Odwith Egon. Luzbal Kandapali. Pick the right pop. Miles Osborne. Corinne Outman. Vincent Ralston. Again, Mentos is best with Diet Coke. Jackson Anderson. Javita Kandapala. Max Lesher. Rohan Patel. Emma Phillips. And Olivia Phillips. They did separate ones, but both did great. Emily Rio. Callie Sevens. Lillian Snell. Lily Van Oss. No. You don't know where your sister's at? No, you have to keep track of her today?
I think she's probably at home.
Aubrey Ernst. Aubrey Jackson. And Ella Van Oss. Sadell Mehta. And Colin Schneider. Thomas, is that everything you want? What's that? Okay. That's all the kids for tonight. Parents, you're welcome to go. You can stay if you like. On your way out, there's a couple of TVs set outside that kind of shows a flyover of rendering of what the new PK8 school will be. So you're welcome to kind of congregate over there and check it out on your way out, or you're welcome to leave and enjoy some sunshine. So, thank you very much for coming.
Thank you for everything. You got it. I did too. Good times, but I can't have such burden. Yep. Had another card.
I'm not gonna go to dinner. I just had dinner with you last night. I'm gonna enjoy dinner this long group of people. Yes.
Thank you so much. That's always wonderful to recognize our amazing students within the community. So we're going to go ahead and come back to the regular meeting. And the next section is citizens addressing the board. The first one I have is Ann Zakor. Ann?
Mrs. McMurray, could you give me like a 50-second warning?
Yes, ma'am. Absolutely. And just to follow policy, state your name, address, and what you're going to be talking to us about.
Ann Zakor, Tip City, and we'll be talking a little bit about facilities and some other, maybe if I have enough time. I just wanted to make the point that when in October of 2023, when I sat in one of those seats, we were talking about the two-story plan. That site plan was presented to the board, and it was discussed at length, and then there was a flyer put out by the levy committee reinforcing that same design of 2 stories. Then there was in the winter of 2024 quarterly newsletter, again, it was reinforced. There were several levels of reinforcement. And in that 2-story discussion in October of 2023, there was a gentleman who visited called Wayne Coleman from Garvin Miller. Mr. Coleman talked about the storm shelter and whether or not we should spend the extra money and vote on having it. And Mr. Maines was part of that, as well as Mrs. Brown. And he said that, you know, there were some pros and cons, a little more cons, but architects can reinforce and adapt other space in the building to provide shelter using hallways and corridors in lieu of a hardened reinforced storm shelter, because that costs millions, plus you have to certify it, etc. And I asked, Mrs. Zakor asked, how many stories are in the plan? Mr. Coleman said 2. And he said students on the 2nd floor would be moved to the 1st floor during a storm. And then oftentimes what they do is they harden the surface above them, which would be the 2nd story floor, to help give a little extra protection. Here's my point. I haven't heard anybody talk about this, because subsequently Mr. Maines, Mrs. Drum, myself, and I forget the others, Mrs. Heatherly, I believe, we voted against the intent for a storm shelter for those various reasons. We thought, okay, we can put them all on the 1st floor, etc. So here we are looking at a 3-story building. I don't know how we segued from 2 stories to 3 stories. That's still very unclear to me. And not once have I heard a discussion from anyone, including tonight, about the seriousness of providing safety for our students and our staff, 9 grade levels in there, if a surface like we had just this past week coming across the country. Keep in mind, some of these little children are going to spend the next 8 to 9 years of their life in that building. So the percentage of them having a serious hit, obviously, you know, it goes up. So I would really like to see, I don't have delusions, but I'd really like to see this be revisited back to a 2-story. Tonight's plan's bothersome to me because the south end of that plan is where they have refrigerators, loading docks, etc. Well, the south end is your prime real estate of that building. It gets the most natural sunlight year-round. Yet those loading dock areas don't require windows. They don't have windows in that plan. And a Leeds building looks intently at the interior environment of a structure. It's all part of the experience. And that south end of that building has no windows. Why? That's a prime spot for classrooms, for offices, to look out, to see the first snowfall, the birds. It's all important. And I want to add that those office spaces on the 1st, 2nd, and 3rd floor have no windows. We are going backwards, my friends. We are going backwards. In an $88 million building with possibilities from the ground up, your office workers, your staff members should be able to go into their spaces every day and see, look out the window, open the window, get some fresh air. Please slow down and think about this. I will be happy to come on board and point out more details to you. But please, M&M, you only get one chance. Don't let it blow. Thank you.
Corinne Dahl.
Hi, Corinne Dahl, just here to speak about board items. Do I have to?
That's fine.
So I don't know if you guys could hear the point that Ms. Secor made. It was really noisy. And one of the things that I want to again revisit, because I'm not going to be a person that complains about the new building should you decide to build a 3-story building with all these open spaces that are undesignated for learning. We are in one right now. I don't know if you could hear, if you guys could hear what Ms. Secor said. It was really loud. And that is a problem with this open space design. That's why you guys at the beginning of this year invested, what was it, like $1 million in order to improve this space, because this design is hard for learning. And then in addition, you know, trends come and they go, and they look pretty when we put, you know, trendy furniture and trendy colors and llama borders in the classroom. You know, we want things to look nice. Those learning environments have been replicated in a lot of schools around here. And what we don't see is a correlation between that open concept and any positive impact on student learning and achievement. So one of the places that we can look for that information is Hattie, visual learning, and his meta studies. A meta study is a study on studies. There have been 315 studies on the effect size of this kind of plan.
Hi, Kathy Bone, Michaels Road, Tip Ohio. I want to address the board tonight about the money spending that's going on here in Tip schools. You've given people raises, you've hired more administrators, and you've given people raises, you've hired more administrators, and even put a $1 million investment into Red Tree Investments. Every new program, like the one Mrs. Scott came in today, you take without questions. I didn't hear anybody ask about the student achievement. I didn't hear anybody ask about the cost of those programs. The Ohio Department of Education has programs out there for reading and math, but Tip schools, you don't get involved with that. Instead, you're always outreaching for some big, huge, expensive program that we don't even know if it works for our kids. That brings me to the levy on the May 6th ballot. We just passed a bond for construction of a new school. We will be paying for that bond for the next 30 years. We are paying for a continuing operating levy that pays salaries, benefits, transportation, and a whole list of day-to-day operations. We never get to vote on that one again. And you will always get our money. We're paying for a continuing permanent improvement levy. That pays for capital improvements, equipment, maintenance, and an entire list of other things as well. We never get to vote on that again either, and you always get our money. There's an emergency levy that was just passed in November 2023 because you could not take care of the money you've already been given and balance the budget. This levy does not expire until 2031, and you'll get our money until then. Now you want us to vote to renew another emergency levy because you still cannot balance the budget. You try to downplay it and sugarcoat it and say it won't increase my taxes, but if I vote no on it, it will decrease my taxes. You've shut down Nevin Coppock, so that's one less building you need to maintain. Last April, Mr. Moran said he was willing to take a salary reduction of $10,000, which isn't much out of his salary, but this board has never put it on the agenda to approve that reduction in his salary. So I guess in essence, he keeps his money, but you're asking the taxpayers to pass a levy so you can take more of our money out of our pockets. This levy duplicates monies that are supposed to be spent from the levy money you are already receiving from the 2 levies we never ever get to vote on again that I mentioned previously. Plus, because of your outrageous spending, people decided to pass the other emergency levy in 2013. It is time for the school administration and board to stop spending our money as if it's out of a monopoly game. I can only encourage everyone to send a message to this board and administration that we need to pull our purse strings together and balance the budget with the money that you've been given. And as I said, I'm encouraging everyone to vote no on the emergency levy on May 6th because you guys cannot seem to take care of the money we've already given you. Thank you.
Switching gears a little bit, next section is informational reports. Mr. Maines, would you like to tell us about the MVCTC, what's happening?
Yes. We just were awarded a 5-star rating for MVCTC from the Ohio Department of Education, and that's the highest rating that you can get under the system. And it's a reminder of the hard work that's recognized by the state of Ohio, our staff and students. Also, let's see, we're expecting to add 3 new programs this coming year. One is for Miamisburg, the middle school project Lead the Way and career exploration. Also, for the Miamisburg program, we're adding the high school information technology and computer science programs. And from Valley View, we're adding the STEM program. So those are all 3 pretty good programs that we're really looking forward to, and we know the students are gonna love it. MVCTC, it's hard to believe that a year ago we had the prom, and we've got the prom coming up on April 5th. So and we're expecting between 850 and 1,000 students at the prom, so it'll be pretty nice. Also, the 37th National Technical Honor Society induction ceremony will be held this coming Sunday at 2 p.m. And MVCTC has 125 students that have qualified to be accepted into the prestigious ranks of this NTHS. Thursday, or March 6th, was the end of our 3rd quarter. March 15th, we had the District 10 Science Day, just like what we're going through here in Tip City with our school. And then March 16th through the 20th, Dr. Weldy will be attending the National Policy Forum in Washington, D.C. Also, March 23rd, as I already mentioned, is the National Technical Honor Society induction. And the April 24th, the FFA banquet will be held at the MAC at 6 p.m. On our agenda, it's pretty much the same types of things that we see here. Under new business, we accepted a few resignations. There were 2 resignations for retirement. We employed some new staff. We've got 1 new full-time classified staff, 2 substitute teachers, 1 new clinical nurse, and 2 substitute classified as needed teachers coming into the fold. We had 4 adult education instructors part-time as needed, and then we hired 1 new bus driver and 1 full-time classified personnel. We approved our out-of-state travel for up to 2 staff members and up to 12 students to attend the SCCLA National Leadership Conference, which will be held July 4th through the 10th in Orlando, Florida. And then we adopted a new textbook for heating and cooling essentials. Other than that, we also had the acceptance of our tax rates for the current, for the tax year 25, 26, just like we'll be doing here later on. So that's my report.
Thank you, sir.
You're welcome.
Are there any other informational reports?
2 quick ones.
Okay, Sydney, no problem.
So the Parks Board met on Monday, this past Monday, quick meeting, final approval of the Canal Fest, which is an annual event down at the city park. Lynn Shirk, she needs more volunteers, so if you know groups that can help volunteer or need community service, whatever, she could really use the help. It'll be a tribute band called Barracuda. It's for, why can't I think of the band's name? Heart, yeah. And then Stranger will be the first one, which is one of the band members from Stranger is from Tip. And the other big thing was, Eagle Scout, his project is he's creating a little disc golf lending library, kind of like, it's like a special box, kind of like those libraries in the community, but there'll be discs. They really aren't frisbees, they're discs. And I didn't know this, but did you know that there are putters and there are drivers? I had no idea, so pretty interesting project. And there will be a new comprehensive steering committee for the parks overseeing, for the plan of all the parks, a comprehensive plan. So that was the Parks Board, and then on Thursday, Aaron and I attended the tax incentive review meeting. Nothing really to report there. It's mostly procedural meeting, once a year requirement. So nothing there really.
Thank you for attending.
Fastest meeting ever, 5 minutes.
Thank you, ma'am. And then, okay. All right, thank you. Moving right along. Treasurer's report. Mr. Stevens, would you let us know about the monthly financial report, please?
Okay, attached to the board agenda is the monthly financial report for the month of February. We're currently in the month with a balance of $90,900,000. Most of that is the large amount that we received for the OFCC building project. The interest income for the month, we did receive just over $169,000 on the building project funding that we have. We are required to keep track of that separately, which it is. My budget versus actual, reviewing what was on the 5-year forecast and any amendments that we have appropriated so far during the year versus what we're actually seeing. On the revenue side, we're seeing variances because it's timing of payment issues for the variances. We will be receiving our tax revenue in the month of March. Once we receive our taxes, I've already seen the settlement sheets from the county auditor's office. The payments should be coming to our bank tomorrow, but once those are put in place, our tax revenues line items should be at or just slightly above the amount that we expect to receive in the forecast. Other revenues that we receive throughout the rest of the year, we have, our threshold funding for our exceptional children that cost more than what we receive from the state. We'll get some funding for that. On the expenditure side, there's no issues on the payroll expenditures. We were projecting, just having 17 of 26 payrolls done for the year. I was projecting to be at about 65.4% of our expense. We're at 65.2%, so we're 0.2% off. There is a timing of a payment and purchase and benefits. We did not get the insurance payment out to the EPC by the end of the month, and so our numbers are kind of a little skewed there. But once we put that in, we're much, much closer to what we expected to spend. That payment has been made in the month of March, and it is over to the EPC. Other than that, we're still looking at purchase services. We're currently under where we've been in the past, but again, I feel this is more of a timing issue as well. And also, capital outlay has been sitting at 81.4% since November, and that was because of the project, the $198,000 LT Ball renovation project that occurred, and so it has not moved since November, so we've had the same expense since then on the books. So there might be some more throughout the rest of the year, but I don't see it going above what we've been budgeted for. That is what I have. Any questions from board members that I can answer at this time? Only 4 months left. Only 4 months left. Yeah, very hard to believe. This time is flying by.
Thank you. The next section is the fiscal year 25 appropriation amendments. Dave, do you want to explain that before we make the motion?
We just had, I'm just proposing 3 amendments. The first is in our 002 fund. We did not originally budget for the bond tax collection costs from the Miami County Auditor's Office. So I'm looking to increase appropriations for that. In the 019 fund, that's our local grant funding, we received an additional grant from Steam Boosters. We've got that in there, and then we had an increase for the high school softball team. They have more activity and they have the funding covered, so those are the appropriation changes for them.
I will entertain a motion to approve the fiscal year 25 appropriation amendments.
I'll move that we approve.
Is there any discussion? Okay, hearing none, Mr. Stevens, can you call the vote?
Mays?
Yes.
Thompson?
Yes.
Dillard?
Yes.
McMurray?
Yes. Okay. All right, the next section is, is the ORC, Ohio Revised Code 5705.41, purchase order certification, then and now for fiscal year 25. Dave, do you want to tell us about that, please?
Yeah, this is not one that we've been seeing very often this year. I do have one purchase order that was done after the invoice date. So that was to Jostens for the high school yearbook. So they finished the yearbook sales. And so they invoiced us back in September of 2024, but we didn't, either the invoice was missed or didn't receive it, or didn't see it in time, but the classifier put that through for payment in January. So she requested the PO in January. We should have taken care of this at the last meeting, but I didn't see this in time, so we're just going back. And so it's just the balance that was due on the yearbooks. We had the funds available to cover it, so it's just, it's over $3,000, and according to the law, we have to have board approval for anything that is not done in a timely manner. So invoice date before the PO date, we should have the PO first. So that's the only item I have.
I will entertain a motion to the approval of Ohio Revised Code 5705.41, purchase order certification, then and now for fiscal year 25.
I'll move to approve.
Thank you. Second?
Second.
Any discussion?
This actually, we've done really well. We used to have a lot more of these, so I'm just glad that it's just one.
Okay. Go ahead and call the vote, please.
Thompson?
Yes.
Dillard?
Yes.
Murray?
Yes.
Mays?
Yes.
Awesome. The next section is regarding the approval of the rates of tax for 2025. Dave, do you want to tell us about that one?
So every year, we're required as a board to approve the tax rates from the Miami County Auditor's Office. They have reviewed the valuation of the community and have reviewed the levies that are in place, and they've determined the amounts that need to be collected, the amounts that need to be assessed to meet the collections that have been approved by the community. And so attached is the tax rates, and I've gone through and recalculated all of the millage amounts and the revenue that they've stated we should be receiving, and I didn't find any issues with the dollar amounts that they're reporting. The one that you'll see that's new is the bond retirement. It says it expires tax year 2053. That is for the new PK8 building high school renovation project. And you'll notice that the old high school levy is gone. That has been removed from the records. So with the board approval tonight, I will then send this to the budget commission, and then we'll certify that these rates are approved. I'll need everybody's signature on this.
All right, I will entertain a motion for the approval of the rates of tax as determined by the Miami County Budget Commission to be levied for school purposes on the general duplicates of 2025, subject to any additional levies approved by vote.
I'll make the motion.
Thank you. Second, any discussion?
What was the millage, Dave, of the one that was removed from the high school? You remember?
Is that what it was, 2.13? Yeah, that sounds about right.
2053. Still be here. Okay.
So the county determines all of this?
Yes, this is determined by the county auditor's office, the county auditor's office. They make it so that if there have been changes in the valuation of the district, they do rate amendments to reduce the amount of millage to be collected, so that we're not receiving more than what was, like on the emergency levies, we have to receive a certain amount.
It's only a certain total dollar amount that can come from the village.
For the emergency
So if
levies,
your house increases in value, then the millage goes down.
correct. And I appear to have left the sign-off sheet at the board office, so I'll have to get you guys for signatures on another day. That might be coming to your home.
Is there any other questions or discussion from Mr. Stevens?
This doesn't represent an increase in tax, correct? Tax stays the same, it's just the tax millage.
Well, the increase, there could be increases on the inside millage at 5.4 mils. That is not reduced by an absolute amount collected. So there could be increases on the inside. They recommended was that we had an advance that was approved by the board back in March of 2018, and this was the funding that was advanced from the general fund to help purchase the turf in the field, in the stadium. And the original advance indicated that it would be repaid over a 10-year period using funds, $75,000 a year, using funds received from Premier Partners, that's Valley Medical Center, Premier Health. But the contract amount was changed this past year in 2024, so they no longer were providing $75,000. They reduced the dollar amount. And so the auditors recommended that we revise the repayment plan, the repayment resolution. And so the change is, it originally stated the advance would be repaid over a 10-year period, $75,000 a year using the annual Premier Partners grant funding. And it has been revised to say the advance would be repaid using the funds received from the annual Premier Partners grant funding. So it's taking longer as the funding has been increased.
I will entertain a motion for the approval of the advance repayment modification as mentioned from the Miami County Auditor,
This would be the state auditor.
the state auditor. I apologize.
I'll move that we approve the advance repayment modification.
I'll second.
Discussion?
Quick question. How is it that a contract can change after it's been approved?
Well, the contract, that was not them, that was not Premier Health. They had provided us with,
The contract ended.
the contract ended and
There was a 5-year period and it came up and they were
they wanted to renew again, but not for the same dollar amount. So they changed that and we had to approve it at the new rate.
And just for clarification, I believe that Mr. Stevens said that that was changed in the fall of '24. That actually was changed in the fall of '23. Prior to the three of us being on the board. That's why we don't have a recollection of that.
So
And
they,
according to the notes, it said it was reduced in, so they approved it to be reduced in twenty-four to half that amount, and then half that.
So it wasn't a 10-year contract, it was a buyout
It was a
contract.
5-year contract with a renewal, and when they did the renewal, they lowered the rate. They actually, Premier Health had agreements with numerous school districts throughout Ohio, and they had cut back on the funding. Tip City was actually receiving more than others. When I was at Bill Union, they were not receiving $75,000. But
Premier Health provides an athletic trainer for us, and they pay us, we don't pay for that athletic trainer. So we're getting a little things,
So we've only received 375,000 of the 675 so far, and now it's gonna go down to 30,000?
37, but there's costs that were associated with it too. Like, there was a street posting on that in October. There's a part-time athletic trainer we still utilize that we paid for. It wasn't coming out of it wasn't coming out of this fund. So yes, it's not a total of 75,000, it's not a total of 375 either.
when Premier Health came to us with the revised, with the new agreement, they indicated that there's a new funding source. It's like a grant fund that they stated that schools would be able to apply for. We haven't seen anything more on that. So apparently we could receive more funding from Premier Health, but again, we haven't seen anything.
I don't know if I wanna ask this question, so did they change? This doesn't have anything to do with, the situation in the city?
Yeah, they did, yeah. The Premier Health contract was to provide funding for athletics. We could use it on anything athletic-wise,
Okay,
and the board back in 2018 said we would use it to help with the turf in the field.
I see.
And, yeah,
Makes sense now.
I
Thank
was
you.
wondering the same thing.
Thanks for clarifying.
Right? Call the vote, please.
Dillard,
Yes.
Thompson,
Yes.
Ames,
Yes,
McMurray.
Yes. The next section is our consent agenda items. I will entertain a motion to approve all of the following consent agenda items, including prior meeting minutes from February 18th, 2025, work session, prior meeting minutes from February 18th, 2025, regular meeting, new hires, retirements, resignations, new substitutes, supplemental positions, athletic game workers for the spring of 24-25, overnight and out-of-state trips, Tip City Youth Soccer Organization donation acceptance, a Dos Lunos donation acceptance, Katie Van Oss donation acceptance, Tip City Rotary Club donation acceptance, and the final reading of the Neola Policy Comprehensive Review.
All motion to approve the consent agenda.
Do I have a second?
I'll second.
Okay. No discussion, can you call the vote?
Thompson,
Yes.
Ames,
Yes,
McMurray,
Yes.
Dillard.
Yes.
Thank you. Next section, our new business, section 7. This is about administrative staff for the 2025-2026 year. Aaron, can you let us know what that's about, please?
All 5 of these employees are contracted up at the end of this year, and I'm recommending that we provide a year contract for all of them in the same roles as we currently have.
I would entertain a motion for the approval of the administrative staff for the 2025-2026 school year that is listed here.
I'll make the motion.
I'll second it.
Discussion?
Well, good people.
I wanna thank them for their continued service.
Yes.
May, the student days and staff days we get out of, students we get out, the student days and staff days we get out of, students we get out on the 21st of May, the week before. And then again, just like every other school year, students will graduate the day after the last student day on Saturday. Typically it falls on Memorial Day weekend, but in this case, it will not fall.
I'll entertain a motion for the approval of the proposed 2026-2027 academic calendar.
I'll motion.
And a second.
A second.
Discussion?
I know there's some changes that we made, going as we approved the 25-26 calendar, just some of the like 2-hour, late starts or late arrivals and things like that. What's been your experience with some of those changes that we made so far this year? Positive?
Yes.
Okay.
The time more dedicated, so the stuff, the department chairs, the teachers, that work is being done during those late starts at the middle school and high school. So it's been more of a shared leadership, working at the buildings to get that done versus the every Wednesday late or early release. So to me, this has been a much more positive and productive part for staff.
That's not my motion.
Anything else? Hearing none, can you call the vote, please?
Thompson,
Yes.
Maines,
Yes.
Dillard,
Yes.
McMurray.
Yes. The next section is regarding the April work session and regular meeting. I would entertain a motion for approval to move the April work session and regular meeting to April 22nd, 2025. The meeting times would remain the same with the work session at 5 o'clock and the regular meeting at 6, with the location still at LT Ball Intermediate School. Do I have a motion?
I'll move that we move the meeting to the 22nd.
Do I have a second?
I'll second.
I put Kyle down.
Okay.
Totally beat Mr.
All right. Discussion. I believe we already had talked about this. Yeah, it was. So this is just voting on that. So everybody okay to stay? Yeah, that is not a good day for you, sir. We will be thinking of you. All right, hearing no further discussion, can you call the vote, please?
Dillard,
Yes.
Thompson,
Yes.
McMurray,
Yes.
Maines.
Yes.
The next section is the, section D, is the OFCC CFAP project, conduct business and change delegation. And I am looking for a motion for approval of the resolution delegating authority to conduct business related to the OFCC CFAP project, including the change order authority, and there is a public file attached. Do I have a motion?
I'll make the motion.
Do I have a second?
I'll second.
And discussion.
We talked about this at our last meeting.
I'm sorry, can you just remind my brain?
So this is so that if there needs to be a change order, that we have set a limit to the dollar amount, that doesn't have to be board approved.
I was just having. I didn't remember if it was 100 or 150, and I know I read it and then it just went. Thank you.
Is this approving just the amount or is this approving who's allowed to do that?
It's both. So it has money bids that have different level of approval amounts. I had mentioned Troy, when they approved their resolution, they had listed $250,000, and we had felt before that was too high, and wanted to look at that.
According to this in here, that needs to be signed, that it is listed as superintendent treasurer.
And, you know, the board approved the OFCC contract originally, and we will be appropriating all of the amounts within that contract. If the appropriations are still, if the amendments are still, I'm sorry, if the change orders when the,
Are we able to do those, if we need to convene quickly to get approval on that? Are you able to do that?
if we needed to, yes, we would.
Well, I'm saying, are we able to do that virtually, or does it have to be in person?
We have to be in person.
Any other questions or discussion? All right, hearing none, can you call the vote, please?
Maines,
Yes.
Dillard,
Yes.
McMurray,
Yes.
Thompson.
Yes.
And I apologize, I know that we have an E, for some reason my computer, that is a powerful thing, I can't get it to,
There you go.
I apologize,
Mine's a little slow.
thank you. Alright. This is the added section E, and I'm gonna go ahead and let Mr. Moran discuss first.
So we went out for bid for the local fund initiative, the bus maintenance garage. We selected the lowest bidder, which is Level M Construction. The estimate was roughly, published estimate was $2 million. The total cost came in at $2,007,000, I believe, or exact numbers. $2,075,033. That's with all the alternates. We think it's, very pleased with that number. We're concerned that it could be a lot higher. But the bids came in a little lower than we expected to get everything. So we're excited to get everything that we'd like to do for now and for the future. Some of the infrastructure pieces, the alternates you see there, we accepted them. We didn't accept them for the ARP, so we want to keep the base buildings built around the outside protected from the age, low level, parking, things like that.
Thank you. I'll entertain, a motion for the approval to award the construction contract for the bus garage and the maintenance facility to Level MV Construction.
I'll move that we approve the construction contract.
Do I have a second?
Also.
And discussion.
I just want to point out that this is not the contract itself. This is just the selection of the lowest bid of Level MV and allowing us to compare a contract with our
Okay.
architect to give to Level MV. So we're just acknowledging and selecting the lowest bid, the lowest responsible bid, which is Level MV. They were the lowest bid in general. All four bids were within, if you look at the tabulation sheet, it's like $120,000 within each other, which is really close, very surprising. But the architects reviewed the Level MV build and felt that it was adequate, it includes everything, was included in the spec sheet. So this is just us awarding the bid to Level MV, and now we'll have to approve a contract at a later meeting
Got it.
for the work.
Call the vote, please.
Dillard? Oh, no, it was Thompson, right?
No, it was Cindy.
I thought, were you first or second?
She was first.
Gotcha, who was second?
Kyle?
Because I had Dillard, and that's not right. Dillard?
Yes.
Thompson?
Yes.
Maines?
Yes.
McMurray?
Yes. Section 8. I will entertain a motion to adjourn to executive session for purposes authorized under Board of Education Policy 0166 and Ohio Revised Code 121.22, Section G1, to consider the employment of a public employee or official. And do I have a second?
I'll second.
All right.
Thompson?
Yes.
Maines?
Yes.
Murray?
Yes.
Dillon?
Yes.
We are going into executive session We are back from executive session at 7:27 p.m. to resume the rest of our regular meeting, and can I say no official action will take place. Okay. Stop it. Actually, we have upcoming meetings. Just a note of our next meeting will be our work session and regular meeting, which is now on April 22nd, 2025. The work session will begin at 5 and the regular meeting will begin at 6 at LT Ball. And finally, I would entertain a motion to adjourn tonight's regular meeting.
I'll move to the adjourned meeting.
Do I have a second?
I'll second.
Any discussion? Okay, can you call the vote, please, sir?
Dillard,
Yes.
Thompson,
Yes.
McMurray,
Yes.
Mays.
Thank you all very much. Oh, the